Hello. I believe we're recording. Okay, welcome to today's rant, and I titled it The Titanic in the Stock Market. Not because I think the stock market is about to sink, but it's the opposite. I really think, and I'm saying this as an investor, I've invested in the stock markets for between 40 and 50 years. And I, was a day trader for a period of time. I loved it. I loved it too much. That's why I got out of it. But I'm not speaking to you as a professional. I have for a long time took all the time and attention that I was putting into investments and just focused on doing the Lord's will in the ministry. So my advice may be good advice. It's my advice. I'm not saying thus saith the Lord. I'm saying thus saith me. But I think I have some experience, and I think I may be right about this. I think I am right about this, or I wouldn't share it with you. But, I think this is the best time in many years to invest in the stock market. The most successful investing strategy is buy low, sell high. Stocks have been way too high for a long time to, in my opinion, jump in the market or invest in the market. They're just now getting to a place where I think there's a big upside coming. Now, I think there's going to be some turbulence for quite a while because of the tariffs and all. I think it's a good thing, not a bad thing. I am so thankful to have such a bold leader in the White House that he's willing to do the right thing. He's willing to sacrifice some short-term pain for major long-time gain. I also believe, as I follow the business world, follow the economy, I love studying it. When I stop, just focusing on stocks, I start focusing on the world economy because it has a lot of very crucial things that we need to understand. But there can be a big disconnect between the economy and the stock market. I think the disconnect started decades ago in America, where things that would drive the stock market up would be things that are not very helpful to our overall economy. And the things that were really helpful for the long-term health of our economy were down, would create a negative influence on the stock market and invest in the stock market. Stock market is extremely short-term sensitive. And I think what is going on right now with our administration should have been done a long time ago. Many decades ago. And if it had, we could have done it in small increments and over a period of time. And it would not have been so disruptive in the short term. But that's what we've got going on. That we came to a point, I think, where the whole world economy was tottering on the brink, and still is. But I think what had to be done boldly and swiftly, and it's going to bring a lot more short-term pain to do it that way, but it had to be done. The alternative was really not anything we want to consider. Too many of the world's economies are about to go over the cliff. One of them is China's. I think America's was right on the edge before Trump became very proactive, very intentional. And I don't think we've had a leader in the White House for, a long, long time, maybe ever, that had the courage and the boldness to do some of the things that he's done that could straighten out our economy, get us back on a very healthy, secure standing, as secure as you can be in this present world. But, it's going to take some short-term pain. I'm sorry. But that pain can turn into extremely good gain. It really can. The best investment strategy is buy low, sell high. Like we said, and this is right now is the time to buy. Even if the markets keep going down for a while. Now I'm telling you, I'm not just giving you advice. I'm telling you what I'm doing. Okay? I believe in this enough that this is what I'm going to do, what I am doing. I'm very excited about it. I see the potential for us to be much healthier as an economy than we have in decades. I think the whole world has a chance to do that virtually. I think the nations that have tried to retaliate instead of reciprocate and just do what Trump said, whatever percentage of tariffs you put on us, that's what we're going to put on you. That's fair, isn't it? Well, I think it is. And I think it's what is needed throughout the world. But those who have retaliated and say, you can raise them on us, we're going to raise them back on you. And they start this never-ending thing. We've already got China being subjected to over a 100% tariff. And they're trying to do more on us. Well, that's just going to mean nobody's going to buy Chinese stuff anymore. It's not going to happen. We're going to shut them out of the U.S. market, which is probably the best thing we could do for the U.S. market. Just get it over with quick. There will be some pain, no doubt about it. There will be having to straighten out some disruption and everything else. But listen, it is going to be far worse on China or any other country that tries to do that. We don't need them. We can survive. America is the biggest market in the world. It is bigger than the rest of the world's market, just about. And we can survive within ourselves. Now, we do need some things like rare earth minerals. We need to bring a lot of our manufacturing back. We have proven how fast we can do that. World War II, we shifted from making refrigerators and cars to making bombers almost overnight. I mean, when there's an emergency, America has proven it can really respond fast. And I think we can. And I think we will. And that is a healthy thing. That can mobilize the country like we haven't been mobilized in a long time and need to be. It can make all of this that would have been economic challenges and a big economic reset into a trade war. And trade wars can be really devastating. And they can be, but the prepared will prosper in any conditions. And I think we're better prepared than any country in the world. Number one factor almost nobody's talking about is we still have the reserve currency of the world, and there is no currency in the world that can take its place. As much as many have been trying and even putting theirs together in a basket with other countries' currency to rival America's, never worked. Can't work. Nobody has the backup that our currency has. And you say, well, our currency's not backed anymore. It's backed by the faith people have in our markets, in our economy, in our country. Nobody else has that, is anywhere close to what we have in the world. The yuan has come close to crashing the world's economy several times. And I'm just saying, the communist government of China still insists they can just put a currency out there and determine what it's worth, tell people what it's worth, and the whole world will believe them. And the world never believed them. They would accept that and deal with China because they wanted access to the huge Chinese markets, not because they believed in the yuan. But the yuan has never been tested on the open market, and you can never know what it's really worth until it's allowed to float on the open currency markets of the world. The Chinese have never allowed that to happen. It could crash, it could go to zero, it could become stronger than they're even thinking. But you never know until you do it. Well, that's the big Achilles heel of the Chinese. Nobody really knows what the yuan, their currency, is worth. And they're the biggest competitor to the U.S. Well, this could be absolutely crushing, devastating to the Chinese. It could topple everything. Most Americans are aware of what happened to the Chinese real estate market that has tanked. And the biggest real estate, maybe biggest real estate company in the world came to America to file bankruptcy because they had no way to file bankruptcy in their own country. Say, we're insolvent. We can't keep going. They came to America to file bankruptcy. And of course, we have very generous bankruptcy laws because almost no one could really play the game of the free markets without a backstop that says if you make a mistake and you lose everything, we're going to help you get your feet back on the ground. It's going to take a few years. You're going to have to we're going to have to know you learned what you should have learned through this. But America has bankruptcy laws that don't utterly condemn you for the rest of your life. They help you restructure and get back your feet on the ground. And but I'm just saying, I'm throwing out a lot of different things here. But I tell you, across the board, I think this whole shakeout, it's going to reveal a lot of things. It's going to reveal our true friends, those who are not true friends. It's going to reveal the true condition of economies around the world. And I think America is going to stand. Now, you say, what about all the other things you've said about I did write an article in 1987 about the Titanic in the stock market, how, there were things that happened in the 1987 stock market crash that reflected what happened to the ship, the Titanic. It was almost very remarkably similar. But I don't think where we are today is like that. And I do think, from my own interchange with Trump, President Trump, and watching him closely, there may be nobody else in the world that really understands what's happening better than he does. And he not only understands it, he knows what knobs to twist and will bring what effect on the world economy. And I think he's using that knowledge brilliantly. And I think we're going to come out of this stronger than ever with a much more realistic thing. And you know what? Stock prices will fall for a time. That's a good thing. We were tottering so close to, there can be other factors driving stocks up or down other than the condition of the economy. For example, America is just about the only safe haven in the world for resources, for wealth, and all that. And everybody, that's why Trump's able to sell these green cards for $5 million each. I mean, that's incredible, but it's bringing unbelievable resources into a country. On day one, they had applications for 1,000 of those. Do the math on how much income that brought to our country and how bad people want to be a part of what we have here, because they see, in spite of some of the disruption, they see America is far more stable than anywhere else, far more so. And we have the ability to impact the whole world. Now, this is something we've got to get, because that's not always a good thing for the rest of the world. There's a saying that if America sneezes, the rest of the world catches a cold. And then it went to, if America sneezes, the rest of the world catches pneumonia. Well, that's true. And very few of our presidents, our leaders, I believe very few, maybe one or two politicians in Washington even understand basic economics. And I've been saying that for decades. I still believe it. I think there's abundant proof that's true. They make major decisions affecting incredibly big things, having a tiny bit of knowledge, a tiny bit of the information anyone should have to make those decisions. That's one reason I'm so thankful Trump's in there. He really gets it. He gets it on a worldwide basis. He gets it on the micro and the macro levels. And I think he's doing an incredible job managing these things. But I think because he understands it so well, he had the boldness to actually do what should have been done decades ago. It would have not have been as disruptive, but it had to be done now. I really think it's going to end up bringing us much more stability. And then you're going to see the markets go up, but there's going to be reality under them. Now, for a long time, what was driving up our markets, there was nowhere else for the world's wealthy to put their resources that was safe enough. And ours weren't very safe. Yeah, our markets can go way up and way down, but it was safer than anything else out there. Just about. And now, I think right now, the safest thing is to invest in the American economy. And that is, in a major way, very different in some ways from investing in the stock market. Now, when we buy stocks in American businesses, we're buying stocks in America. It really is an investment in America. But for a long time, the stock markets have been about short-term resources, making short-term gains and investing in things that would bring about long-term problems for the economy. And this is going to bring a reset that I think reconnects in a much closer way the stock market, Wall Street and Main Street, the stock markets and the economy. And they are two different things. We really need to get that. And if you know what a price-earnings ratio is, that's what everybody, usually when they investigate a stock or some company they want to invest in, one of the first things you're taught to look at is the price-earnings ratio called the PE ratio. There's a formula for it. That's price compared to earnings. And if a company's earnings are so low that its price is 30 or 50 times more than their earnings per year, that stock's set up for a crash. That's what happened in the 1929 stock market. It was not the tariffs that did that. It was the PE ratios of stocks got so exorbitant because everybody was investing in the stock market. Many who had no clue what they were really doing. It's just they saw it going up, 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 like ours had just been doing. So they were driving it up, investing in companies that weren't worthy of those investments at that time. Their price earnings ratio was way out of whack, just like some of ours were getting to be. This correction, I think, in many ways was a very good thing for our long-term health. But I think if we get it, and when all the dust settles from the tariff wars and everything else, I think it's going to be a much greater potential to have the markets go way back to where they were and even higher in a much more healthy way, because the economy will be so straightened out that companies will be making more. So the price earnings ratios they can have, the stock price can be much higher than they were, but still the PE ratios come down because the earnings in that equation have come up so much. Companies are actually making much more of a profit. That's what Trump starts talking about, the golden age. He's really right. I believe he is totally right. This is where we're headed if we don't balk, if we don't panic and shut down. He's the captain of the ship now. We elected him. Let him do his job. Let him steer us where he wants to. I believe he has the wisdom. I believe he is a godsend to give our country, to give the world more time and to get us established and a little bit further away from that cliff we were all about to go over economically. But now, on the other hand, one other factor, it can be extremely healthy also, and a foundational strength for our stock markets to be high, to be strong. That reveals a strength and a health also that can be really helpful. I mean, it's not helpful for everybody to lose so much money in their 401s and 403s, but you haven't really lost anything if you've stayed the course, and you will make back on paper. You've lost on paper, and you'll make back on paper, and in a real way, everything you've lost if you just hold the course. Markets go up and down anyway, and this is not even a major. We've had much bigger corrections than this in our path. Weathered them and come out better and stronger and healthier. But for me, myself, I'm trying, I don't take a very large salary. I don't have too much capital myself. I invest in the kingdom. But whatever I have and I can put together, I am going to right now invest in the stock market. In some stocks that I think are good and healthy, reflect a vision for our future and stuff like that. But I just feel like this is what we've been waiting for. So we can buy low and sell high. But don't try to hit the absolute bottom. You'll miss the bottom. You'll hold on and say, it's going lower, I'm going to wait. And it'll turn north and you'll think pretty soon it's gone further than you can reach. So I'm just saying, I think it's unhealthy, and I think it's actually unrighteous to try to wring every little penny out of an investment. I used to pride myself when I bought a stock at its lowest possible price. And I did that a few times. I mean, I nailed it right at the bottom. And it turned north, started going up, and I made a lot of money. And then I had pride and selling it right at the top. You know what the Lord said? He said to me one day, that's unrighteous. When you want to sell at the absolute top, you're not leaving any gleanings in the field for the one who buys from you to make anything. You've made it all. You've wrung everything out of it. So he said the righteous thing to do is to set what you want to make on it and what you think is fair for your investment, and be sure to sell it at a low enough price that whoever buys it from you is going to be able to make something too. Does that make sense to you? And you know what that did to me right away? It helped take the greed out of my heart. I was getting greedy, and I was getting so attached to certain standards of, what I should make in my investments. But when I did that and just started thinking of other people, I want to buy it at a fair price. I don't want to devastate them by giving them a lower price. I do that in real estate too. I never try to beat down anybody for real estate, beat them down below what is fair market value. I want to pay the fair market value, nothing less. Now, I don't want to pay more than that either, but I want to pay that. That's what King David said. He will not offer to the Lord that which cost him nothing. Well, it's not exactly the same thing, but I want to give people a fair shake. I want them to always feel like they got a fair deal from me. And I think that's righteous. I don't want to have any guilt about not paying someone something for what something was worth. I hope that makes sense to you, but that's how I feel. And if you're going to wait for the absolute bottom, it can be smart to wait and see the market turn back a little bit. A lot of people do that. I believe in dollar cost averaging, which I don't have time to really explain right now on this video, but certain ways where you invest all the way down, just like you invest in stocks that are going up. And you can make way more doing that than you can just investing in a stock that's going up. Sounds crazy. It really works, trust me. But I will explain that one day. But look it up, dollar cost averaging. It's a basic, easy to understand strategy that is one of the most brilliant ones there is. So you don't care if stuff's going up or down. You would rather it go down while you're buying in. Like most people right now just invest in their retirement accounts. While you're building your retirement account, you want price to go down. You'll buy more shares for the investment you have to make. And then you want to go up when you start taking it out to retire or whatever. That's how that works. But I'm saying you should be really happy right now that now there are many, many great stocks and great companies that are worthy of investing in for your retirement accounts or whatever, that are at a very low price or a very good price, and you will probably have a really big upside because of this market correction. Okay, I hope that helped. That's a question I get a lot, so I decided to just spew on you what I think. If you want to know what I think, that's it. But I am no professional, and I've just been on the outskirts, mostly observing these things for a while to understand the prophetic significance or where things were headed. But, so I am not claiming any insight from the Lord on this. It's just stuff I learned, okay? What the apostle wrote one time, this is my opinion. He said, I think I have the Holy Spirit on this, but I'm not sure. It's my opinion. Take it as my opinion. It's kind of where I'm coming from. And I hope this is helpful for you. A lot of people are traumatized by what's going on. I get excited when I see this. I get really excited and thankful. I feel like the Lord's setting a lot of people up to do very well and to maybe, have a really good nest egg for the retirement. I don't believe in retirement. I don't want to retire ever. That's why I've, not done much with even my own accounts, but occasionally I do get engaged, and this is one time I am. So thank you. I'll quit rambling and ranting, but thank you for joining me today.
Join us in Herrnhut, Germany this June. The greatest adventure begins when we obey the voice of the Lord. As we seek the Lord's blueprints for Europe and His higher calling for each of our lives. A new season of reformation begins now. Scan the QR code to learn more and register today.